Hey, happy Thanksgiving. For those of you who don't have homework over the break, so I've got no classes during the break, but I got a few papers. But I celebrate my 62nd birthday on Monday, so that will be a day off. And I'm cooking on Thursday, and hopefully visiting people who are cooking on Thursday. So that's a hint to my friends. Since my family's now out of town, so it has to be friends. Or if you want me to cook, let me know and bring the bird. Hopefully a duck. So or a couple of ducks, depends on how many people are coming. So yeah, I won't be just doing homework. So and I will be relaxing. So because I enjoy what I'm going to be writing about. Anyway, so let's get to the news. Over this video and maybe the next video, we'll be talking about the news of today because, there's a few things. Let's start with the Bibles. So I am fine with teaching the Bible as literature because it is literature. I think the people who are, believe that the Bible is holy writ and that everything in it is real, they probably would object to it being considered literature, because you're basically saying that their faith is down to a story. So it's being allowed to be taught in English class. Okay, well, it's not really English literature, so I don't know why they're teaching it there, but it's it's fit to be discussed that way. They should cover astrology too, because that was part of knowledge at that point, and also the anthropology of how, and this may be in social sciences, how our concept of God went from the Canaanite pantheon to the God of the Bible. It's because that's what the anthropology and the archeology says. Next year I may be gone for that degree in anthropology finally after putting the topics on the shelf for like 30 years, 35 years. So finally I may go back and do that. But yeah, that's Bibles. So, and here's the thing. If we do that, all kinds of churches, including the Catholic Church, will say, no, you can't do that. You're tromping on our freedom of religion, by making our holy book literature and saying that it wasn't didn't happen the way we said it happened, which it didn't happen that way. The construction of the Pentateuch or Torah is a more complicated story than the Charlton Heston version, where Moses wrote them everything down and put it in the ark. It's like, no, that's not what happened. It's not what happened. And everybody knows it, but nobody wants to say it. So except people who didn't really go to seminary to become ministers, and there's too many of those. So that's the first thing. Next one, Biondi and Bessent and the election. So Trump seems to be crazy as a fox. So he did a solid for Matt Gaetz, giving him an excuse to get out of Congress, since the court's already passed on his charges. They may not stay passed, but that's on Gaetz, not on Trump, and Trump can't pardon what happened, as they were state crimes. So it would allegedly happen. So. And, that's the people who are witnesses are not exactly the people you want to base your case on if you're a prosecutor. Essentially using prostitutes as witnesses is, not, yeah, that's going to be considered credible. Yeah, okay. So yeah, there was the truth and what they could prove are two different things. That's the essence of law. So here's the thing on Bessent. He's as competent as Larry Summers or Bob Rubin and the rest of the Wall Street oligarchy. I mean, they've all and the people on the other side too, on his own side, the Republican side, they're creatures of Wall Street, because our tax policy exists largely to make sure Wall Street has liquidity. That's the truth, guys. That's why we have a debt, to leverage the liquidity of capitalism. That anytime we balance the budget, the liquidity of capitalism collapsed. You can't balance the budget and pay off the debt unless you get rid of capitalism first. And yeah, this country's not ready for that. And I don't mean Russian style, Putin style socialism. Let's make sure socialism and Putin are interlinked, because they are interlinked. I'm talking about, the voluntary cooperatives where the members of the cooperative control everything from finance to consumption to education to human services, and housing. That's what socialism really is. And, this country's not ready for it because the system's not ready for it. Make the system ready for it, and then we can pay off the debt. Until we're ready, we can't pay off the debt. So, until then, we need people from Wall Street. So, now Trump probably has a whole lot of picks in his back pocket. And at least the deputy secretaries who actually run these departments. And as far as Tulsi Gabbard, if she's the one who briefs the president, then, and I think that's what the DNI's job is, Trump needs somebody he'll listen to and pay attention to, rather than somebody who'll talk down to him. So if she's the one who does the briefing, then she should have that job, whatever that job is called. And I think it's DNI. So, National Security Council, he can do that without confirmation, but that means that she's in charge of policy, not briefing. That would be, and that position is not Senate confirmable. So, I think we're right where we need to be on that one. Much as I hate the idea of a Russian spy being the Secretary of the Treasury. So, yeah, there's that. Now, let's see Rubio, I'm not sure about. The Cubans will like it, so, transportation, whatever he was committee serving on, that's where he should have gone. So, and it keeps him out of Nikki Haley's way whenever they decide that they don't want, and it keeps him out of J.D. Vance's way too, by the way. J.D. Vance no longer has to worry about Marco Rubio running against him. Still Nikki, but that's too complicated to talk about right now. So, Trump is testing the waters on how much the Senate will let him get away with. Hopefully, they will assert themselves, which Trump probably wants, so that he can be Trump without real consequences, and without and having it just be politics, not somebody talking down to him, which is what his last administration did, and which is totally unfair. You can Trump's a creature of authenticity, and it hurt his feelings too, because authenticity and feelings are the same thing. If you all the people who have you get in touch with your feelings are also saying be authentic. It's the same thing. I've taken all those personality courses that talk about that, and yeah, it's you design those so that people who are competent also don't forget that they're also authentic, because you've got to be both. So yeah, Trump is also an essentialist. All people are to some degree, according to personality theory, which is what I'm writing about this semester. And like all CEOs, he's an introverted planner. Which means that he plans for his own interests and leads the plans for everybody else, such as the insurrectionists. And he was never accused of the insurrection, of knowing what was happening at every stage of the process. there were always two alternative scenarios. One provides reasonable doubt. The one that Trump was an active participant in the riot. No, it was really happening. That's one of the two alternatives. I put the thing in the wrong place. And the other one was, hanging Mike Pence, or that's actually proves that he was involved if he knew that bit. But calling that the case was incompetent, for the House committee. That was just, they missed it. But the thing is just, him not saying, I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't aware of the plot. Stone was, and then pardoning Stone. It's we'll won't know about that if ever. The government couldn't prove that he wasn't running the insurrection. So because they couldn't prove it, they didn't charge him. And charging that is the only way he would be ineligible to serve. So, and convicting him of that, and they couldn't. They don't try. The federal prosecutors don't try what they can't win, and they couldn't win that case. As much as we all know that's what he did, the law says unless you have people saying, yeah, Trump was well briefed and was in charge, unless somebody says that he was in on that, nah. You can't convict Trump for the sequence of events that is obvious. And I will leave you with that teaser because that's where we start the next one. Because there will be 2 videos. So be right back.